Assalamu alaikum, sunana Fatima, ni jami'a ce. Ina aiki da mata da iyali domin tallafa musu a fannin lafiya, musamman uwa da yara. Sau da yawa mutane na tambaya, shin hanyoyin tazarar haihuwa suna aiki da gaske? Amsar ita ce, suna aiki sosai. Idan an yi amfani da su yadda ya dace, hanyoyin zamani na tazarar haihuwa suna da matukar tasiri wajen hana ɗaukar ciki. Wasu hanyoyi kamar haka, implant, tsinken dantse da IUD na aiki tsawon shekaru, kuma fiye da kaso 99 cikin 100 suna hana ɗaukar ciki. Wasu kuma kamar allura da ƙwayoyi su ma suna da matukar tasiri idan ana amfani da su yadda ya kamata. Dukkan hanyoyin zamani lafiyayyu ne, amintattu ne, kuma suna ba da damar tsara iyalinka cikin kwanciyar hankali. Kada ki dogara da jita-jita.
Ziyarci cibiyar lafiya mafi kusa domin farawa, ko a kira lambar waya 222-52. Wannan saƙo ne daga ma'aikatar lafiya tare da tallafin gamayyar ƙungiyoyin Pronet da FEM.
John Vance 3-in-1 chocolate. Enjoy instant goodness.
Mama and Papa, na pikin fit be the next big star. Imperial National Online Competition Kiddies Edition 2026 it don land. Registration nko na free of charge. Your pikin go fit to win the grand prize of 2 million naira akpalakpala ewelelelele plus all expenses wey be say dem go pay for you and your family for Abuja for 3 days. First runner up nko, e go carry 1 million naira igbim. Second runner up, e go waka with the 500,000 naira idindin. To register nko, you go send your pikin a picture, full name and email through WhatsApp to 081-623-23504, or you fit to visit us on top of www.17dayempire.com. You go register your account, then you go message us on top of WhatsApp to take a complete the registration. No dull yourself. Give your children the chance to take a shine. Make them forfeit to make you proud. Imperial National Online Competition Kiddies Edition 2026. Let small dreams they become big success. For more information, you fit to send us message on top WhatsApp for 081-623-23504. Imperial National Online Competition Kiddies Edition 2026. Now place where we say small dreams they become big success.
Soyayya tana da yare da yawa, wasu suna faɗan shi da ƙarfi, wasu suna faɗan shi a hankali. Amma idan ka ƙaunaci kanka da gaske ko wani, kana magana ne da karin kumallo na pig, wani karin kumallo mai laushi mai ɗanɗano, cike da gina jiki wanda aka yi da madarar pig, yana ɗauke da vitamin, protein da calcium don kiyaye ka a shiryayye da ƙoshin lafiya don kowace rana. Domin karin kumallo na pig shine soyayya ta pig.
Peak. Reach for your peak.
Ziyara ta farko a gidan sirikai na kusan kiran 'yan sanda. Bayan na marmasa dunkulen Mr. Chef sai na ji miyan kuka ta fara turanci. Har ma an ta Amina sarauniyar iyayi ta ce, "A zuba min a kwano in tafi da ita gida."
Hello?
Ji daɗin ɗanɗanon al'adu tare da dunkule mai sauƙin marmasawa na Mr. Chef mai ɗanɗanon daddawa da kuma haɗaɗɗen kayan ƙamshi. Mr. Chef ɗanɗanon gida, ɗanɗanon al'ada.
Good evening.
In Psalm 107 verse 20, the Bible said he sent forth his word, and his word healed them, and his word delivered them from destruction. In that sense, the word of God is a conveyor of God's power.
But
Join us this July, Thursday and Friday, 5 p.m. daily, and Sunday, 9 a.m. for a power-packed and deliverance program titled Destroying Evil Network with Archbishop Dr. Maxwell Chidi Echibe, venue Spring of Life Prophetic Ministry, number 5 Mayere Street, Banawa, Kaduna. Call
All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the program Spot On. My name is Jacquelyne Adebija, and as usual, I'm not here alone. I'm here with Invicta. I hear there's another, he holds the title for another village. But
it's not a village, it's a district.
It's a district.
Angwangaya is the district.
Okay.
Yes, of the Atiap chiefdom. Yes.
Okay.
I'm also the Damasan Angwangaya.
Wow. Okay, it was Angwangaya that I heard.
Yes, yes.
All right. We'll talk about that some time after this program. But then again, you do know that on Spot On, we talk about everything and anything as it concerns this great nation. And today is not going to be any different. We're looking at 2027 and shifting political paradigms in Kaduna and Nigeria. And today we're very honored to have with us via phone Mr. AUDU MAIKORI. He is today Chief Strategic Advisor to the Governor, talking about the Executive Governor of Kaduna State, Senator SANI, on intergovernmental affairs. Mr. AUDU MAIKORI, good evening, and it is a great pleasure to have you with us this evening. Welcome.
Thank you, Jacquelyne. Thank you for having me, and thank you, Mr. Bally, the Masanen. You said Invicta?
Yes, Masanen, Invicta,
yes.
and Angwangaya, and I'm hearing another place again. So the titles are piling up.
Yes, Barrister.
Well, thank you for having me.
Barrister MAIKORI, how is Abuja? How is Tinubu?
I think Abuja, it's been a bit rainy, but we thank God, and our great president is doing very well. Okay. And we thank God for life and all the great plans and all the things that are happening around the country.
Right.
Yeah, Jackie, it's good to let the listener know in our normal political brief update.
Yes.
Yes. Following the opening of the access portal by INEC to all political parties, they have started nominating or filling the names of their deputy governors, talking about the governors that emerged by all the parties. And in Kaduna here, yes, it has never been a dull moment. It started with the ADC, which announced a former 3-time member from Zonqua House of Assembly, talking about Honorable Irime Ajeri Kantiok, as the running mate, deputy governorship candidate for the ADC, talking about Right Honorable Isa Ashuru. He too, a former 2-time House of Rep member, former 2-time House of Assembly member in Kaduna here, who he has picked the ticket for the governorship. Then for the, it follows by the the APC, Governor Obasani, day before yesterday, nominated the executive chairman of Kaduna State Internal Revenue Service, talking about Comrade Jerry Adams, a tax collector, a fellow of the Nigerian Taxation Institute. And also the PDP nominated Honorable Amos Gandu. Honorable Amos Gandu is a former special assistant to Kaduna State Governor, former technical assistant to former Minister of Power, and a former House of Rep aspirant for Zango Kata Java Federal Constituency. At the moment, this is what we have. We're here to hear the Labour Party, who is the governorship candidate, let alone to talk about the deputy. For NDC, Senator Danjumala, former 2-time senator, and who lost election in APC for a third shot to the Senate. He moved over to the NDC and he picked, the last time we saw, he was having the form, but we're yet to hear if the party has already adopted him as the governorship candidate. That's what we can say for now.
Thank you so much, Ango, for taking us through the political realm there, just giving us updates on the most current of news or information, as you'd like, on happenings. 2027 is around the corner and changes are taking place left, right, and center at a very, very fast pace. And Like we said, our guest today is someone that there are a lot of people who would have thought or never thought in their lives that they would have him come back to Kaduna as not just a son of this great state, but also as an honored one, because not too far in the past, he found himself in the crosshairs of the state, and not in a good way. And coming back to you, Mr. MAIKORI, I'd like to know how that just feels to you as a human being when you got this appointment. What were your first thoughts about, your appointment?
Or maybe, Jackie, we started by introducing him very well to the listener. AUDU MAIKORI is a brand, the Chief Executive Officer of Chocolate City, an entertainment guru. We'll take it from there.
Okay, so you wanted to add that he knows about entertainment. He's also there. We could add prisoner of conscience, what some people would call a prisoner of conscience, and an activist, and also a professional.
Yeah, it was in the course of that he had the brush with former Governor Erufai that you are taking the foundation.
So we could go on and on and on, but we want to get to you. Honestly, your first thoughts when you got this appointment.
Well, I think that it's a cycle of life. I've had a very interesting life, and I've had my ups and downs. And to your point, at the time I could not enter Nigeria, not to even talk about Kaduna State. But then I found myself now not just coming to Kaduna State, but also working with the governor and the people of Kaduna. I had the opportunity to run for House of Representatives earlier this year. And just that experience taught me a lot about things that I'd missed over the past 6 or 7 years of my absence. Reconnecting with the people, looking at the potentials, and understanding that this is a great, great state. And that with the right leadership, it could be the most prolific, the most important state in Nigeria. So having had the opportunity to have run and had conversations with His Excellency, what I saw was a man who's committed to equity and balance. I remember the first meeting I had with him about 2 years ago. And then we had another meeting almost exactly around June of this year, maybe, or early June. And all the things he said in June, he had executed 70% of them 2 years later. And it was the same thing he said. I think about this man that talks to 1 million people every day, different meetings. But for you to assess something in June 2024, and in June 2026, you have said the same thing, right? And you have delivered on those things you said, then that shows that you're a man of your word. And for me, that is what leadership is all about, is that when we take these oaths, when we make all this, when we swear before God and man that we're going to do these things, we should be responsible enough. So it's euphoric to think that at the time where people had lost hope, including myself, that I would ever have a normal relationship with the government. Here I am working and championing things, not just for the government, but between the government and the federal government and international organizations and other things that have to do with Kaduna State as a whole. Is God not good?
He is. Even though I must say that the role you've taken on is, well, to me as a layman, looks quite daunting. And why am I saying this? Right now, I don't know, we might chalk it down to a myriad of reasons. The APC is taking a big hit from the people of Nigeria if the common man and the everyday conversations are anything to go by. The prices of almost everything is at an all-time high. And coming to your sector, talking about intergovernmental affairs, where you're the nexus between the state government, the federal government, and even international organizations, I would say that aid is running low. Insecurity in the country is still at a place where citizens are not comfortable. I will draw you to what just happened in Kauru just a few days ago. So it is a daunting task, and it would be interesting to hear how you intend to take this up at such a crucial time. Crucial not because of all the things I've mentioned, but also because of the brevity of time. I mean, this appointment is coming with less than 10 months to elections. Your thoughts?
Well, let me say that first of all, my heart goes out to the people of Kauru and all the other incidences of insecurity and the people who were killed. Every life is important, and I like to think that could be me. It could be anybody close to me, and I'm sure that many of us have experienced these losses over the past years. But I feel that in life, you also have to look at the context of certain things, and you have to look at what the situation has been. This situation just didn't start today. And we will agree that there's a much better sense of security today than there was less than 3 years ago under the previous administration or the previous governor. So I think that's the first point. And I think in life, it's about improvement. All of us get into things hoping to improve things. It doesn't mean we're going to get it 100% right immediately, but with effort, with a collective ambition, and with the right team, we can definitely improve things. And I'll say that is the story of Governor SANI over the past 3 years. It is a case of sustained improvement across all boards. There is a lot of data that needs to be fed, and we'll be holding something of a public sort of hearing, not a hearing, but an interface to kind of give you a scorecard across every sector. And across every sector of performance, you see that there's been an improvement. Now, when we talk about security, because I think that that's really fundamental, and it's a sensitive topic because it affects each and every one of us.
Right.
There's no doubt that on the federal level, even it's bedeviled the performance of, at least it's discolored the performance of this administration. But we're happy to know that there's now been the bill passed for the state police, which we believe is it's long overdue and very, very necessary. And I think this is another step, another layer. There's been a directive to hire another additional 50,000 police people. Across boards, whether it be like for the local and state police, there's been a strengthening. There's been a removal of police force from inactive, following VIPs and now deploying them to the ground, and instead bringing the alternative civil defense people to carry some of these services. And then there's now the detailed plan and deployment of vigilantes on the local level to ensure that things are protected. The truth is that these are all policies that are now receiving the funding and the backing and the legal backing, to ensure that they are implemented expeditiously and effectively and in a sustainable manner. We also note that the governor recently convened in Kaduna the Northern Nigeria Security Fund, and the idea is that we'll need more funding to ensure that the situation in terms of policing and protecting the communities are better financed. This is an engagement that every governor has agreed that they'll put in an amount at every month to ensure that we can hire more people from the police down to local vigilantes. It is a difficult time for every Nigerian, and we cannot make light of the issue, but the government is trying its best to change things and to think out of the box and take steps that normally have not happened in this country for the past 20-something years. So I'll just say that the idea in life is to keep improving. Is there improvement across government? Yes. His Excellency, the governor, has done a lot. There are many areas. Is it healthcare? Is it agriculture? Is it mining? There's so many things that we can name that he has done that have not been done before, and at a very record-breaking speed. So I'll plead with our fellow Nigerians and people of Kaduna in particular to exercise patience all of us, some of us have left our private businesses to come and join. We're not joining because it's comfortable or it's a great time, and that's the point. The point is that it's not enough to keep complaining. We have to get involved. We have to do our part. And for me, many other people who have left lofty positions or other comforts in their homes and are spending literally 20-hour days trying to fix things. We just need your support, your encouragement, and we need more people to join so we can fix the problem.
So speaking about the state police, as a law professional, you're a barrister, Mr. MAIKORI, I would like to hear your thoughts about the framework, because now we have the backing for this state police, for this to become, our reality. But what about the framework? Because there are people who are worried about arming the state police. And not just that, the recruitment process. You and I know this Nigerian phenomenon where the political elite just use some of these positions to settle their, for want of a better word, their minions. And many times, this is what we saw in the teaching sector, under the last administration, where a lot of teachers, well, it's an argument that people have about the positive or negative aspects of what happened then. But suffice it to say that an easy test was administered to a number of teachers, and a number of them failed woefully. Now, is this what we're going to see? Is there a framework for how the state police will be set up in all the states? Who is going to be in charge of salaries? The state. Does the state have enough resources to take care of state police across 23 local governments, as is the case in Kaduna State? And even beyond that, the recruitment process, I come back to that. How and who will be responsible for it? So just talk to us about, how soon can, or do we think is realistic for this to become a reality?
Well, that question there are many layers to this question, and there are many of them that I cannot answer because even the lawmakers themselves have not finalized, and even on the executive side, none of these things are cast in stone.
Okay.
What is key for us to understand is that everywhere in the world, in every so-called civilized or developed society, they have state and federal police. So it's not a new innovation.
Right.
Now, let me explain that the fundamental idea behind state policing is that the police are local. They live there. They've lived there long enough to know the ins and outs of the areas. Therefore, they can be more effective. You see, there are police people that you grew up with. That maybe you were in Burnawa, and then you were staying on Mando Road or whatever, and because they grew up in Burnawa, they know all the families, they know the people, and they can also help spot strangers. Now, when you're deployed from say Sokoto, and you go all the way to Enugu, you don't even understand the language, you don't understand the people's culture. How can you really be effective? You understand what I'm saying? How do you understand the nuances?
Right.
So I think that we need to understand that is sort of like the background to setting this up. The second thing is the ease and the speed of deployment. The governors of every state is in charge, the number one person in the state, and there's also the chief security officers in the state, but they never had the power to be able to direct. So by the time it's deployed by federal, it never gets to the state on time, and if it does, the state person who's deployed does not even know the local nuances enough to be effective. So that's the second reason. Okay. Now, so this is the same across. Now, the issues around jurisdictional, whose jurisdiction, where does it start, where does it stop? These things can be layered according to the gravity of the crime, the persons involved, and the scale. These are things that can be that are being negotiated and discussed right now. Now, let's talk about the funding part of it. I think it's more expensive not to fund the police and to let insecurity thrive in our communities. I'm sure we all agree. There are businesses that have to close at 6 p.m. today because they know that after one time, they cannot keep their businesses open.
Right.
Now, what does that mean for the person who's supposed to be sending Akara? The one day I came from a meeting and I got into Kaduna around 1 a.m. and I was hungry, me and my colleague. We went somewhere in Burnawa and we found some kind of place, like a buka that was open till like 12:30 or something like that. And we ate food. And I just wondered, like, what if these guys were not open, where would I have eaten food? And the number of people that were out there eating, that lady was making a lot of money. And I could see how bustling her business was. That's because she's in an area that is secure. People can move around freely and patronize her business. Now, think about how many businesses have died in Kaduna over the past 8 years because of insecurity. So I would say that it's cheaper to fund the police than not to have security whatsoever. We understand that. Now, the governors have already made a commitment that they will find the resources. And I'm sure that where they do not have adequate resources, the federal government can find a bridge gap, to make sure they can fund it. But let's not forget that in other places, private sector individuals actually fund the police. They provide them with cars, they provide them, and this even in Nigeria it happens. There are times where big companies give them cars, give them security posts, and just to help to make their lives a bit more comfortable so they can be effective. So I would say that has been worked on. Now, you raised a very important point around, which is the fear of many Nigerians. Are these police now become political pawns in the hands of politicians?
Right.
Does the government now become a terrorist because he can control the police? And from the last iteration that I read, probably about 2.5 weeks ago, there is going to be, the police people the deployment is going to be centrally regulated by the National Police Commission, but they're going to be able to give certain criteria for appointment and for removal, and for you to before you can take there's an escalation point where the governor can step in and etc. But trust me, there's no perfect system, my brothers and sisters. We have to just get it going and iterate, keep perfecting as we go on. Otherwise, we'll never pass this. And that's why this law has never passed before, because we have talked about it and we've been afraid. But there are checks and balances. And I haven't been a victim of that kind of oppression before myself, and many other people in Kaduna fear this more than other people. And that is why it is our job as citizens to get involved in the public hearings, to write memoranda, to lobby for the kind of provisions that we need. My personal philosophy in life is that there are two kinds of people. You can keep complaining every day, or you can get involved and hope to effect some kind of change. And I can assure you that if you look at the body language and even the performance, there are many protests that have come in from the presidential level about appointments and things like that they have doubled back on because they've got the feedback and they corrected. And the same thing with on the state level. So your voices are important. And under this administration, we are eager to hear your voices. We're not going to be upset because you complain, because that's the only way we can get the feedback that helps the governor and the government to do better for the people. So please, let's have the criticisms, let's have the feedback. We're not afraid of that. What we're afraid of is a silent population that secretly knows what's happening and are not going to make any move to improve it.
If you're just joining us this evening, with us via phone is Mr. AUDU MAIKORI, his chief strategic advisor to Governor Sani on intergovernmental affairs. And we're looking at 2027 and the shifting political paradigms that we see both at state level and at national level. We'll go on a quick commercial break, and when we get back, we'll talk some more with Mr. AUDU MAIKORI. Stay with us.
Lokacin jin daɗi sai Kivo Krima.
Idan na sha ko lokacin shan dari sai Kivo.
Tabdi. Wato a duk lokacin da muka haɗu a dandalin tattaunawar iyalinmu sai an samu matsala. Abun burgewa ma zan dafa wani abu da duk za su amincewa. Wato da fadukan shinkafa na musamman tare da magi.
An sarrafa magista daga tataccen waken soya, albasa, kayan yajin armashi tare da kanamfari.
Lokacin cin abinci a shiga cikin lallama ko samkar a shigo.
Magista sanya duk abinci da lokacin su kasance na musamman da ba za a iya mantawa ba.
Ki huta mama, yanzu na zan wanke maki fararen kayan nan naki.
To, amma ba wanke su kawai zaki ba. Ki tabbatar kin yi amfani da haifo domin yana cire duk wani takaddarin tabo yana kuma sa fararen kayana su ƙara haske kalkal.
Haka ne, kada ku amince da tabo, ku tabbatar farinku ya ƙara haske kalkal. Soyayya tana da yare da yawa, wasu suna faɗan shi da ƙarfi, wasu suna faɗan shi a hankali. Amma idan ka ƙaunaci kanka da gaske ko wani, kana magana ne da karin kumallo na pig, wani karin kumallo mai laushi mai ɗanɗano cike da gina jiki wanda aka yi da madarar pig, yana ɗauke da vitamin, protein da calcium don kiyaye ka a shiryayye da ƙoshin lafiya don kowace rana. Domin karin kumallo na pig shine soyayya ta pig.
Pig, reach for your peak.
Welcome back from that commercial timeout. Still with Mr. AUDU MAIKORI. This time around, before Ango jumps down my throat, let me quickly give a better intro of our guest. He, of course, for those who know him and have been in the music industry for any length of time, you will know that he is founder and chairman of Chocolate City, an entertainment conglomerate. He is currently Chief Strategic Advisor, of course, to Governor SANI, and he's former board member and project convener of the Subsidy Reinvestment and Empowerment Program Presidential Committee, talking about Sure P. And like he said, while we were talking at that time, he's also a former aspirant for the House of Reps seat for representing Zangon Katavjaba Federal Constituency. For those who also have been in Kaduna for a while, you know that he is an activist. I mean, if you've had to go to prison or any sort of incarceration for fighting the system in some way or the other, you are indeed considered an activist. So once again, thank you for being with us, Mr. MAIKORI. Ango, you had a question. All right, go straight to it.
Still talking about the insecurity step being taken by the government. Let's look at it aside the establishment of state police, which process is going on by the National Assembly. Even though the process have been circumvented by the National Assembly, the process of making a bill to come to conclusion start with first reading, second reading. You go to public hearing. AUDU MAIKORI enjoin the public to be stakeholder to take part in the public hearing. Then after public hearing, they come back for third reading, close consideration and adoption. However, they jump the aspect of the public hearing. There isn't part of it. And that's why when Arise TV and This Day organized the town hall meeting, that issue was raised, the issue of public hearing, by former chairman of National Human Rights Commission, Professor Chidi Anselm. So we hope they will take note of that and they do a detour to include that aspect. Now let's look at the President Bola Tinubu recently approved the establishment of 4 additional divisions in the country, talking about the name Jalingo Division, which is Division 10, Makurdi Division, which is Division 5, Ilorin Division 9, and Benin Division 83. And also, in addition, of course, 3 new brigades activated in Boko, Kainji, and Lafia, and the recruitment of additional 29,000 soldiers. So, AUDU MAIKORI, what is your take on this aspect? Some said, could this be political? Or how can this make sense within this time? So,
especially seeing as how, just to add to what Ango is saying, especially seeing as how this comes with the arming and buying of all sorts of equipment for these divisions to function properly. Yes. And this is particularly a worry too for Nigerians who know that there are divisions that are already in existence that are not functioning even at 90% capacity. Yes. So adding new divisions, it's a lofty idea, but how realistic is it?
So I'm not sure I understand the question. How realistic is it to launch these
yes,
divisions?
Because of arming them. Yes, arming them. There are professionals who have, spoken about it takes a lot to just open up a division. And right now, there are divisions that are already in existence that are struggling. They're actually struggling because the resources are frankly not available. I don't want to say running low, not available in some instances.
Even resources are available. The government said there's enough money, coupled the subsidy money and old new ideas of generating revenue. However, the budgets are not funded. We are running a dual budget 2024 or 2025 and 2026. 2025 not yet implemented.
It's actually from 2023, I think. Yeah.
Yes. So with these new divisions, so can they get funded?
So here's my question. My question is that what would the alternative be that you don't create the divisions at all?
Well, for me as a layman, I do not pretend to know it all, but for a layman that is looking at the problem, one would think that funding the divisions that are already in existence, ensuring that our soldiers and officers are satisfied with the equipment they are working with, and also with their emoluments, for instance, would be a better way to go, so that these men can stretch themselves further for the country. But once again, like I said, this is just from a layman's point of view. I also know that these divisions are, for want of a better word, as a layman, I'm going to say thematic. We have the infantry, we have the amphibious, we have the divisions are, well, like I said, they are thematic. So what type of division will be these three divisions? There's no clarity about what type of divisions they're going to be. There's a lot anyway. I think it's just the confusion about what exactly these three divisions are supposed to do in the presence of the lack that we've just, enumerated to you.
And to add, do you welcome the approval for the recruitment of 29,000 additional soldiers to add to the number on ground?
Yes, look, it's almost not a question for me, I'll be honest, because it's an obvious answer. The answer is yes. It's always a yes. Listen, security is not just about having bullets in your gun. In England, there are policemen that walk around with nothing. They have a baton. That's all they have. But you feel secure because you can see someone who's authorized by law to control a situation. There is, forgive the word, a nuisance value of even having these people moving around. Is that when people are thinking about taking a strike, they'll think twice when they see security. You understand? So I'll say that the first thing is that we do need more arms. Nigeria is under-policed severely. So even with what the government has done, there's even more that needs to be done because there is an under-securement of Nigerians. If you look at the numbers, I don't know the statistic offhand, but I think it's something like it's supposed to be 1 person to 1,000, 1 policeman to 1,000 people. Nigeria is probably 1 to 10,000, something like that. Because remember that we're talking about 120 million people. Our police staff force is still under 500,000, if not under 250. So I'd say that it is much needed. The issue about funding is that, there's always going to have to be a means to juggle different needs and wants. But security is a number one priority for this government. and you can see that there's been a measure, there's been an improvement definitely over the past 3 to 4 months. Whether it be the recapture of, the return of people who have been kidnapped, or even foiling attempts, because there's been more equipment, more ammunition, and some money has been released for them to be able to buy and train people better. Coupled with the partnerships that have been held across with the US and Turkey and other things, you are seeing a gradual improvement. But you do not still have enough police. So it is only natural and makes sense for you to employ more, to cover more places so they can feel secure. So people need to feel secure, and it helps when you have people, more policemen, more bodies around the place, ensuring that they're keeping law and order working. So I don't know if that answers your question, but I would say that the alternative is what? Sometimes in life, you're stuck between a rock and a hard place. The truth is that if you're stuck between a rock and a hard place, you rather go through the hard place than the rock, because the rock is not moving anywhere. And that's where we are. That security issue is going nowhere, so we have to find alternatives, and that's what we're trying to do.
This might be of a personal nature, but at the same time would like to pick your brains. I'm talking about the fact that the former governor of this state, in the person of Malam Nasser Ahmed El Rufai, has been incarcerated now for over 160 days. And there are people who are worried that the law, once again, is not being followed. Talking about how the former governor has been treated. He literally was passed from one agency to another without even, completing one case with one agency before facing the other. It was almost like one agency he left the ICPC, right, and moved into the DSS custody. And since then, his family have come out. The wife particularly, I think the second wife, has been quite vocal about, and this coming from a wife who is also a barrister.
A lawyer, yes.
Yes. And she's talked about the illegality of it all. Your thoughts on this?
I can answer this question in several ways. And I'm not sure if I should answer this question as a citizen of Kaduna, as a lawyer, as a government spokesperson.
As an activist.
In fact, you do not have to. You do not have to answer. I need to say that.
But you can answer as an activist.
You do not need to answer if you don't feel comfortable answering the question.
No, I feel very comfortable answering the question. No, that's not the problem. I'm saying that there's so many angles to the question.
So you have the option of answering as an activist.
Allow him to answer the way he wants to answer.
Yeah, so there are many angles to it.
Right.
One thing I know is that there's no, as long as there is no repetition of lawsuits, which we call an abuse of court process, several court cases can go on simultaneously.
Okay.
As a businessman, I've been involved in four different cases on the same subject matter in different jurisdictions before. And nobody said that it was illegal. You cannot mix an issue of cyber hacking or alleged cyber hacking, corruption, and there are different causes of action. And the truth is that if you are wanted, the law can decide to pursue, and the system can decide to pursue those things simultaneously. The issue of what the wife is talking about, of course, is our right. It's every Nigerian's right that the Constitution is strictly adhered to. People may have their views about whether it be right or wrong, but the question is that which law has been flouted? Nobody is able to show that there is a flouting of any law in that process, right? So it's a lot of emotion, and it's understandable. Of course, he's a human being, but in the same vein, the truth is that there are bail conditions set, and he wasn't able to meet the bail conditions. There's a process for going through that, and that is through the court system itself. So I want us to have trust in that court, the judicial system. I myself went through a similar process under his administration, where he wielded the law against me. And what I did was fight back legally. That's all you can do. So it's unfortunate what he's going through, but that is what the law does. The law is blind. So he has to follow the legal way by which he can get himself out there. And this applies to every Nigerian. There are many Nigerians who are going through a similar thing. And I talked about myself, and many other people southern Kaduna and in Kaduna and around Lagos have gone through the same thing. You're going to have to go by the law. That's why it's called a system. So I wish him the best, and I hope that he's able to get the right lawyers to represent him and to get him out of that. But in the interim, I can't really speak. It's a matter in court. There's no real comment I can make about that process. That is unprofessional and is not the right way. So all I can say is that the system itself is the way and the path and the light towards the end of this journey for every person. It applies to every Nigerian and every other person who knows the Constitution.
So you
so I don't want us to I don't want us to politicize or over politicize the matter,
right?
Because it is not as if these matters came up from zero. There were indictments, there were National Assembly, the State House of Assembly wrote petitions, there were glaring things that came on. These matters came up and they were taken up officially. So all I'm saying is that is the process. We urge that the system be upheld and it should be neutral to everybody. And that is the Nigerian vision and dream, that the system supports people with as much neutrality as possible. That's all you can do. But at this point in time, I have no comment about the system because I'm not a judge. I'm not in court. So it would be wrong for me to make any other statements.
All right. So let me take you to Southern Kaduna briefly before we go on a break. You have a question, Ango?
Yeah. Still,
okay. So I'll keep my question. Ango, you go.
Yes, I'm looking at a kind of irony on your appointment as special advisor or strategic advisor, intergovernmental affairs, by the successor of your friend, talking about Nasir Ahmed El-Rufai. This position was the one held by the current governor, Ubasani, when Nasir Ahmed El-Rufai was governor. The position was Special Advisor, Political and Intergovernmental Affairs. Now, Obasani, who succeeded Nasir Ahmed El-Rufai, your former friend, now gave you that same position. So how would you deploy it to add value to the government or the administration of Obasani?
So first of all, let me be clear that Nasir is not my former friend. He's a friend. So he's not a former friend. I wouldn't want you to end our friendship that abruptly. That is unfair.
But secondly, you guys are still in the Supreme Court. You and him are still in the Supreme Court. Am I right?
Well, I think he likes court and he went to Supreme Court. So who am I to stop him? Like I said, and you see, you're making my point. It is everybody's right to pursue any injustice that they feel that has been meted upon them. He felt that he wanted to go on and he's gone there. It's his right. I don't take it personal. Right? It's the system. So if we can understand that the system is neutral, it's a set of laws and gimmicks that you have to understand and marshal very well, then you don't feel bad. It's business. It's not personal. So again, like I said, my friends, we're still friends. But moving on to the role that I'm playing.
Yes. How do you deploy it to add value to Kaduna State administration under Obasani?
I've hit the ground running already. I took time out to join this meeting because of its importance. But we're just today, I know how many conversations and how much progress we've made in just 24 hours. And the idea is very simple. How do we make sure that Kaduna is well placed in a way that it can do business seamlessly with third-party organizations, governments, agencies, and institutions? And I have a lot of experience in that. You see, while I was away, I've worked with the Prime Minister in Barbados. I've worked with the government of Ghana. I've worked with agencies in the US and even the UK. And I've gleaned a lot of experience in doing and structuring transactions and deals and ensuring delivery between agencies and governments and institutions. So I'm bringing that experience that I've gleaned over the past 7 or 8 years into this. I take the position very, I don't take it lightly because I understand the weight that is upon not just me, but every other person in the administration. And primarily my job is to make sure that it is delivered in a timely fashion that brings the gains of democracy directly to the people of Kaduna. And that is under the guidance of the governor. And the governor has a very, he's an action man. I mean, we had a meeting earlier today and some international organizations saying you're the action man, because every conversation we have is like, yes, is a yes or no. It's not a, okay, I'll come back to you. No. Okay, give me this time and I'll come back to you. That's the maximum you ever hear. But it's a yes or a no, because there's no time. There's a lot of work to do. People are waiting for these decisions, and it's not time to be playing around. So there's an article that somebody wrote the other day. He said that the governor ever sleep. Trust me, he doesn't sleep. He's burning with passion for the work he has to do in Kaduna, and he's always on the go. And the same thing across the board with every project, whether it's within Kaduna or within states or within the federal government. Is it about education? Is it health? Is it about agriculture? Is it mining? Over the past 2 weeks, we can pinpoint performance indicators of every single thing that's been done. So my job is to make sure that things are moving, make sure that if there's any liaison, any communication that needs to be made to move things quickly, it happens. And I need your support and your feedback to be able to achieve that. And ultimately speaking, the scorecard is going to be marked, the podcast is going to be marked by the teachers, right? And that's you guys. So trust me, we're excited about the opportunity, and we'll be looking for your cooperation, your partnership to put the right information out, not just information for information's sake, but information that helps the citizens of Kaduna to see what is going on in real time. And that is what we'll be working on as well.
If you're just joining us this evening, Mr. AUDU MAIKORI is our guest for the evening. He is Chief Strategic Advisor to Governor Uba Sani's administration on intergovernmental affairs, that is. We'll be right back after this commercial timeout. Mr. MAIKORI, please do stay with us, be with us online, and we'll go on this quick break. When we get back, the phone lines will be open. I already have a number of comments on our Facebook page live stream, and I'll be reading those out, and then of course we'll be taking calls too. So stay with us. We'll be right back.
You're tuned in and locked up to 98.9 Invicta FM.
As man pass man, na so some occasion day for man life wey no get mate. For this kind time, na Eagle original aromatic schnapps dey stand gidigba. Imagine when dem born new pikin, or marry new wife, or build new house. Even when man hammer for any better hustle. Plus say when we dey celebrate different festival, na this kind period dem Eagle original aromatic schnapps dey stamp im authority as original traditional prayer drink. Because our culture and tradition na our correct tori, that's why Eagle aromatic schnapps sef na correct traditional prayer drink. To match the celebration, no wonder the Oyoyo pack carry for im body now. The things wey dem take sabi our culture. Celebrate and enjoy Eagle original aromatic schnapps. Na Intercontinental Distillers Limited dem make am. No be for person wey never reach 18 years old. Drink with sense. Eagle original aromatic schnapps. Authentic traditional prayer drink.
Mama, sai kin gan yadda na wanke ban ɗakin nan. Ya wanku sosai fa.
Tabbas zai iya wankuwa sosai a ido, amma idan ba da hypo toilet cleaner kika yi amfani ba wajen kariya, to ban ɗaki cike yake da ƙwayoyin cuta baja-baja.
Haka ne, kada ku yarje wa ƙwayoyin cuta, ku kare ban ɗakin ku kullum da hypo toilet cleaner.
Looking for luxury, comfort, and relaxation? Welcome to Extreme Hotel and Suites, crafted for your comfort and convenience. Enjoy our clean and spacious rooms, designed to suit every taste and budget. Take a refreshing dip in our sparkling clean swimming pool, relax at our elegant lounge and bar, and treat yourself to delicious local and continental meals prepared to satisfy every craving. Our experienced and friendly staff are always ready to serve you with warmth and professionalism, ensuring every stay is truly memorable. With 24-hour electricity, maximum security, quality customer service, and a peaceful environment, Extreme Hotel and Suites is your perfect home away from home. You can visit us at plot 344470, Gwari Road by NAFDAC, Narai High Cost, Sabantosha, Kaduna South. For reservations, you can call 0707-771-9185, or you can send a message on WhatsApp on 0906-652-2177. Extreme Hotel and Suites, where comfort meets luxury. Book your stay today.
Lokacin jin daɗi sai Kivo Krima.
Idan na sha ko lokacin shan dari sai Kivo.
When the rain falls hard, anywhere can flood, but you can stay safe if you're prepared. Check the skies, hear the news. Flood alerts are there for you. Don't ignore the signs you see. Plan ahead for your family. Stay out of flood waters. You never know what's beneath. Don't wait. Don't guess. Only the living can enjoy tomorrow. In the event of a flood, evacuate immediately. Follow instructions from the relevant government agencies. Have a flood plan in place. Be ready. Be safe. Your safety comes first. Stay protected. Be safe. Be ready. Have a flood plan. This message is brought to you by Christian Aid Nigeria, Legal Awareness for Nigerian Women, UNICEF, and the European Commission Civil Protection and Humanitarian Aid Operation, ECHO.
Assalamu alaikum, sunana Fatima, ni jami'a ce. Ina aiki da mata da iyali domin tallafa musu a fannin lafiya, musamman uwa da yara. Sau da yawa mutane na tambaya, shin hanyoyin tazarar haihuwa suna aiki da gaske? Amsar ita ce, suna aiki sosai. Idan an yi amfani da su yadda ya dace, hanyoyin zamani na tazarar haihuwa suna da matukar tasiri wajen hana daukar ciki. Wasu hanyoyi kamar haka, implant, tsinken dantse da IUD na aiki tsawon shekaru, kuma fiye da kaso 99 cikin 100 suna hana daukar ciki. Wasu kuma kamar allura da kwayoyi su ma suna da matukar tasiri idan ana amfani da su yadda ya kamata. Dukkan hanyoyin zamani lafiyayyu ne, amintattu ne, kuma suna ba da damar tsara iyalinka cikin kwanciyar hankali. Kada ki dogara da jita-jita.
Ziyarci cibiyar lafiya mafi kusa domin farawa, ko a kira lambar waya 222 wannan sako ne daga ma'aikatar lafiya tare da tallafin gamayyar kungiyoyin AIDA-PRONET da FEM.
Hasken rana in ya fito, sabuwar rana ta bayyana. Ga yunifom an shirya mana, kuma ga mu akan hanyar zuwa. Milo a cikin kofi, mai ɗumi ga inganci. An yi shi da malta, Milo. An yi shi da madara, Milo. An sa mishi koko, Milo. Yanda dai ya kamata, Milo. Mama ta ce in shanye.
Milo. This BB Nigeria Season 11, everything burns brighter. Only the biggest moves tip the scale, because nothing is given, but everything is for the taking. When the world watches, will you be outshined, or will you step up and take the spotlight? Big Brother Nigeria Season 11 starts Sunday, July 26th, showing 24/7 on DSTV Channel 198 and GoTV Channel 49. Headline sponsor, Bet Power.
As man pass man, na so some occasion dey for man life wey no get mate. For this kind time, na Eagle Original Aromatic Schnapps dey stand gidigba. Imagine when dem born new pikin, or marry new wife, or build new house, Even when man hammer for any better hustle, plus say when we dey celebrate different festival, na this kind period dem Eagle Original Aromatic Schnapps dey stamp im authority as original traditional prayer drink. Because our culture and tradition na our correct tori, that's why Eagle Aromatic Schnapps sef na correct traditional prayer drink. To match the celebration, no wonder the Oyoyo pack carry for im body now the things wey dem take sabi our culture. Celebrate and enjoy Eagle Original Aromatic Schnapps. Na Intercontinental Distillers Limited dem make am. No be for person wey never reach 18 years old. Drink with sense. Eagle Original Aromatic Schnapps. Authentic traditional prayer drink.
98.9 Invicta FM.
All right, good evening. Once again, we are still here with Mr. AUDU MAIKORI, and we do hope that you're really having a great evening listening to us. We've been talking so much about, well, shifting political paradigms, talking about the state police. We've touched on quite a number of issues, even the opening of 3 more divisions for the Nigerian Army, and also other things that we have touched on this evening. I do hope you're still with us, Mr. MAIKORI.
Yes, I am.
Okay. All right. So, Ango, you had a question.
All right. We're looking at 2027, and it's already fast approaching. Like I did in the intro, in Kaduna here, running mates for the governorship have been announced. Jerry Adams for the APC, Ermia Jerry Kantiok for the ADC, and Amos Adamugandu for the PDP. Now, let's look at the presidential election. In 2023, Atiku got Kaduna, and it was Kaduna gave the highest vote to the PDP. Atiku polled 554,360 votes. Bola Tinubu came second with 399,293, and Peter Obi, of course, got 294,494. The showing by Bola Tinubu, some will say it was a result of the Muslim ticket, and the same thing has been replicated or has been maintained in 2027. However, for the governorship, there's a shift, a paradigm from it. We now have
at state level.
At the state level, yes. Mm-hmm. Jerry Adams has been picked. What is your take? How would this change the political graft in Kaduna for the presidential and for the governorship election, picking Jerry Adams? I'm talking of your own party itself.
Yeah, I mean, I think before we even talk about the selection of Jerry Adams as running mate, we have to look at the work that's been done in Kaduna to. Sorry, there's a lot of noise. I don't know, can you hear me at all?
Yes, we are hearing you. We're hearing you loud and clear. Must be from your end.
Okay, must be from my end then.
Yeah,
but if you look at what has happened even prior to that, Governor Obasani has done a lot to bring communities together, to bring inclusion, road development, schools, community centers, primary healthcare centers, job creation, ICT. So Kaduna, before at the last election, remember that Kaduna was a very, very disunited entity. There were a lot of, religious and ethnic tensions at the time. And because people felt like they were not being carried along under the previous administration. So I'm saying that all this work had already led to a shift. Remember that even during the APC years of under Rufai, the House of Assembly, the House of Representatives, and even the Senate were all PDP people, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you can see that, and today, if you look at Southern Kaduna, even as early as this year, all the elected officials left PDP and they moved to the APC. The question is why, and the question is answered by, it's very evident. It is the policies, it is the personality, it is that thirst to bring people together. I mean, this gentleman went to church on Christmas Day to celebrate with Christian. When was the last time we had that? I mean, that's how it may seem like a small detail, but I'm just trying to show you that this is the character of the leader that we have. So by the time it came to selecting running mates, it was no surprise to many of us that he would pick a Christian, because that is the ethos of the Kaduna Peace model: inclusion, making sure that every voice is heard, making sure that everybody benefits from the gains of this democracy that they fought for. Now, Jerry Adams himself is a win. Is a win. Look, I haven't seen in a long time any excitement about a deputy governor like when it came to Jerry Adams' nomination. All across the board, there's nowhere far and wide people applauded that choice. Why? Because he is a man of the people. He has always brought people together. And I read a comment yesterday by somebody who was in the opposition. He said Jerry is one of the few people that, even though he was in government, he did not what's the word? He did not block his opposition people, or was not overly defensive, but brought everyone in, regardless of their party or creed, because he believes that the job that he has as the chairman of the cadres is to serve the people. And you see, when you're dealing with collection of money, that doesn't care about your religion, your age, your height, or your sex. It's just simply about collecting what is due to the government. And he's done an amazing job. So with that office, he won the hearts of many people across zones, not just about Southern Kaduna, no. In fact, you find that Jerry is as popular in Southern Kaduna as he is in the other zones as well, because of his administrative skills and just his personality. So when you put these two things together, then there's no competition. The truth is that, honestly, I don't see, and I say that respect to all, with all sense of respect to all the other contestants, that I haven't seen a duo that's more formidable, because the people have shifted. The hearts of the people are with the governor and with his running mates. So I'll say it was a great choice, and it shows that the man is very intentional about his decisions. Very intentional. He could have decided to throw the path. He could have decided to.
Hello? All right, we're having some distortion online. And hello, can you hear us? Okay, we're having some we're having some distortion. Yes, I can hear you. Kind of. We're having some distortion, and it's come right at the time when we need to do a change of power source. So just give us a moment, just a few minutes. There will be a change of power source, and then we'll start to take the calls. And the numbers, of course, remain the same. They are 081 40,000 989. Once again, that's 081 40,000 989. Then we also have 070 87 800 989. Once again, that's 070 87 800 989. We'll be right back. Do stay with us.